funny, but he taught me how to keep the perfect posture. So folding under pressure, that ain't something that I'm about to. Crabs in the barrel, I'm just trying to be a lobster. I hit my cousin, told him to call. It's been 12 years and I ain't heard from him at all. Had a little fallout over some money. Damn, ain't it funny how the smartest people be beefing like they some dummies? But I hope you doing swell now. Hope your family well now.
Welcome to Primary Purpose. My name is Pej and I'm your host. Today we have a very, very, very special guest. His name is Jason Chain. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Let's say I had to go to Home Depot to like steal something.
Yes.
Because that, eventually my life would turn into
Sure.
that, the just living day to day, whatever, no place to live, no place to go,
Yeah.
no meth. Like, what do I have to do?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm interacting, or I'm in a grocery store with all these normal people.
Yeah.
And I'm on another plane.
Yeah.
I'm interdimensional, interweaving between these two
Sure.
things, and I'm watching these normal people like get up and run in the morning and stuff like that. I'm just like, wow, these people are. But I think they're crazy.
Yeah. But you
Like,
look crazy.
I think I'm on. I think I'm figuring out everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm honestly like in the zone that people should be.
Yeah, the master of the universe.
Yeah, and I'm pulling the strings and all those type of things. My last relapse before I met Cowboy and that whole thing happened, it was right as Hurricane Katrina hit. And I had been sober for a few months, just hiding from everybody and working. I was working in the oil field. And I got high, like right as Katrina was bearing down on New Orleans. And I somehow had spun it in my world that I started the hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling everybody that like I caused Hurricane Katrina. And people were just like looking at me like, even the people I get high with were like,
You're losing it.
yeah. But it had to do with electromagnetism and the Bermuda Triangle, where
Sure.
all these powerful forces. I'm from Atlantis. My people are from Atlantis,
Yeah.
and that's where the electromagnetism is so strong. And
It made sense to you.
It absolutely did, and I had a way of explaining it. But still, that was where I was when I finally went to treatment.
I have a very special guest today. His name is Fausto Castellano. I'm so stoked to have him on today. We're going to have a really good episode.
It's good to finally meet you.
It's good to finally meet you too. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I know that we were talking last year, and I sincerely apologize because my phone blows up so much that I never got a chance to actually schedule you. And then this year, I keep seeing you online. I see you're doing lots of stuff. It's good to have you here finally.
What I got from the scripture was that God gives his strongest battles to his strongest warriors. And for me, it was the first time I ever had a perception change of, wait, are you saying that I got addicted, codependent, anxiety, insecurities, cheated on, betrayed because I was strong enough to experience that pain to help out others through their pain? And so I felt like I got high and buzzed on life. It was an emotional experience for me because I need to feel it to believe it.
Wow.
And so I felt this freedom and this just feeling over me like a warm hug. And I felt confident and secure and happy, which is what I wanted my whole life. And so I went, I don't know what this feeling is, but if that's true, what you just told me, I want more of this. And so I used to watch a show called Rescue Me where the firemen went to AA. So I was like, oh, I think there's this thing called AA I'm supposed to go to. So let's just go to AA, I guess. Mm-hmm. So I go to AA, podium meeting, share what I just told you today for the first time in front of a group of people. Mm-hmm. And this guy came up to me and he said, me too, right? And I was like, holy crap, this happens to other people? So in that moment, when this person said, me too, I realized that there was purpose to my pain. That what I felt and what I understood about I went through everything for a reason to help out others was true. And so in that moment, when I believed there was purpose to my pain, I went on Instagram and Facebook and I said everything I just told you to the public.
I've been wanting to have you on here for a long time. I've always admired you for I've seen you over the many, many years that in our recovery community.
Yeah. My second book, Notes to George, is direct instructions on listening to all we call it the committee in your head.
Yes.
And voting the guys off.
Sometimes we call it the itty bitty shitty committee.
Okay. Well, I go a step further with that. I listened to it for a while to see who I can keep on the island and who needs to be voted off.
That's right.
Come to find out, they all need to be voted off. There is nothing good going on there. Once in a while, I'll get a trickling thought from my therapist or sponsor, but it's once in a while, right?
Yeah.
So I tell God that I'm going to ignore everything my head is saying, and I'm going to say yes. And in that, I tell him, bring me everything you wanted me to do in this lifetime. And you would not believe my second book that'll be out by the time this podcast is released.
Yes.
Like someone calls me and goes, there's kids all over Venice Beach. They're sleeping all over the beach. Most of them are from foster care. You need to come to Venice Beach. In my head, in italics, in the book, Venice Beach, really, I already work in LA. The weekends are my only time off. I have 4 foster kids in my house. I'm not driving to Venice Beach on the weekend. You got to be kidding. Is there no one in Venice Beach that can help people? Why are you calling me? I'm just one little girl. I live in Orange County. Do you not know where Orange County? This is everything in my head. But what's in my head is like Carrie at the prom. What comes out of my mouth is Marsha Brady. Sure, I'd love to show up to Venice Beach. I'll be there as soon as you need me. You want to meet tomorrow?
Welcome, Jeremy. I want to hear about your background.
You do?
Yeah. Who are you? I mean, we have a lot of history, but the floor is yours.
Tomorrow I'll get sober and be able to show up on
Right.
set. So
you learn how to cook meth.
I learned how to cook meth, and that way the power was not in other people's hands.
Yeah.
And the illusion that if I had enough or better stuff,
Yeah.
that's what it was. Is the dope's not clean enough. It's not pure enough.
Bust out the acetone.
Yeah. So I become a shard wizard
Yes, you did.
and a dragon
And
master.
and for those that don't know, during that time, he was known to have the best. I mean, the most potent. Like he was Breaking Bad before it was even a thought for a TV show. Maybe perhaps they based it off of that guy. Because I'm not kidding you, man. Serious shards.
I believe us addicts, we don't lack in a lot of things. We do lack in a couple areas, but having your real committed work ethic,
Yeah.
being super stubborn, being super committed,
Yeah.
being extra driven, and perfectionist.
Yeah.
We got that. So I took my perfectionism and my obsessive compulsive nature into creating like the strongest dope that you
Yeah.
can. I have to raise my frequency, my vibration. I have to get into a gentle state of childlikeness if I ever expect to like explore a new world. And I hate my old world. I can't turn the turd, into a gold pile. Like it's a turd. No matter how much I polish the turd and bedazzle the turd, it's still a turd. I need to like flush the turd,
Yeah.
which is yesterday, last month, last year. And I need to start fresh. So something happened inside of me where I started to really realize this, that it all comes from within, which anybody that told me that stuff, all the answers are inside you. Trust your heart. I'm like, trust my heart, dude? Trust my heart? Look, you want to look at my heart right now? There's a laundry list of people that need to get beat up. So no, I am not going to trust my heart. The answers is, you want to know what answers are inside me? Like you don't want to know. You won't like me if you know what the answers I have are lie, cheat, steal. If I get super buff and have abs, people will like me. I need a really cool house and a really cool car, or I mean nothing. That's the answers I have within.
That's the way we think. Welcome to the show, Sam. We finally got you to come on here.
Man, it's glad to be here.
I'm telling you, man, we've been talking about this for a long time. We've gotten to know each other in the last year.
I remember saying, what the fuck just happened when I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
So that was just kind of a
Trauma
thing.
response.
Definitely, man. And
then just it gets embedded in you.
yeah. And you're not even aware of it. That's what it is.
I'm sitting here thinking right now, every time I say, what the fuck, Nia? Maybe I need to do some EMDR. So wait, you say you still do therapy?
Yes.
Okay. So is it based around, because we talked in the beginning of this, because our topic today is transformation.
Mm-hmm.
And you spoke about, your upbringing, what was expected of a rugged man like yourself, or the area that you were from, and the types of the work you were in. You got to be a man, right?
Yeah.
You got to be a tough guy, if anything. Like,
Yeah.
you can never be a pussy. So the transformation throughout your life, with everything that's happened, with your own transformations, is there ever transference, like countertransference or transference that you experience, or are you able to walk through most situations because you're a changed man and your outlook's different.
Man, like I am a totally different person for the most part around my views of the world, the way I think about myself since that 12-step awakening and that clinical work awakening, that transformation, the recreation of my life, the rebuilding of my internal constitution. Like my views and opinions have drastically changed. He's talking about a countertransference of like when you transferring like my lived experience onto those that I
Well,
work
a lot
with.
of times in the clinical setting, when you, because I went to school for drug and alcohol studies, so we learn about transference and countertransference, where you might see somebody that you're trying to work on or work with, and it brings up stuff for you, or it brings up stuff for them. Like you might, I've literally been working the 12 steps with a dude that told me I can't have you be my sponsor anymore during a 4th step, and I said, why not? So tell me, who's Jesse? Give me the whole 9.
Okay. You know, it's funny, if you had asked me that question a few years ago, like, it would have been a completely different answer, you know. I got sober 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago. April 26, 2022 is my sobriety date. I went to court, saw that, came back to my trap house and just continued to use. And then I got in trouble again. Got arrested again while I was out in bail, but in another county. And after that, I went to court for, you know, and my attorney was like, you know, they're going to arrest you when you go in there now because you were out in bail and you got in trouble again and they think you're a danger to the public. And I truly believe like I surrendered in that moment because my initial thought was, I'm not going in there. I'm not going to get arrested and be dope sick in jail, you know? So I was going to run again. And that's what I was always used to doing, was running. But my dad, just like I could see the despair in my dad's eyes, you know, and I just couldn't do it. So I just walked into court and I was like, fuck it. Whatever happens, happens, you know. So here I am. I'm like, I'm going to have to go through all this again. You know, I just got off of this huge thing and now I have another court case to deal with. So I really had to lean into God again.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like I went and they ended up like tying in that case with the last one and giving me time served for it again.
So again, you got off.
Again. And I'm like, okay, God, I see you, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. What brought you into this path?
So am I going to take it all the way back? Am I taking it all the way back?
All the way back.
All the way back. No, we don't have time for that.
Well,
Way back in the beginning, there was a great earthquake. No. Every time I hurt myself, every person I disappointed, every person I screwed over, every person that screwed me over, and there's hundreds of them. And then I found out that that guy will never achieve happiness. That guy is suffering. Hurt people hurt people. That guy's hurting, and that's why he's hurting everybody. And then I found out through this process with meditation and prayer and recognizing, and see the spiritual practice is, the main thing is awareness. Because we don't know what we're doing. Did you know that when you fill yourself up with anger, hate, resentment, that you poison yourself? Did you know that when you blame anyone for anything, that you become a victim? When I blame you for the way that you act, for the things that you did, I am blaming you. I am saying you have power over me. You have power over me. You can make me feel any negative way that you want. I am choosing to feel negative, feel angry and frustrated, and I'm blaming you, and I have no power over my own happiness. I am a victim. I love myself too much to want to do that.
Right.
Someone freaking gets rude, I want to punch them in their face. I love myself too much to even stew on that.
Yeah.
Something goes bad in my life. Whoa. I love myself too much to let myself go down the rabbit hole of fear and anger and hate. I love myself too much. I love my life too much.
Good to have you on here finally.
Thank you for having me.
I was already wanting to have you on here for a long time. I very much regret not having Siamak and a few other people that were instrumental in my path to getting better. So I thought, what better than to have Mama here?
you were in your room, and she brought there was a flower and something and a small note that says, "Sorry, I can't go with you." And that broke my heart.
Yeah, it's because her parents didn't.
Because the parents, they didn't want her to go with you. And I said, this is it. I'm not gonna. How I came, I didn't want to stay in Iran because I said it's no future for my kids. And here I am in a state that, the prejudice is killing my kids. I'm not gonna do that anymore. And we were there already 9 years. So at that time I said, no, I'm not going to stay. And that was the main reason why we moved. I was so stupid thinking that somebody didn't know that when someone is on drugs, they can promise you, they can lie, they can steal, they can do those things. Now I know those things. I didn't know. No, I thought just because you say I'm not going to do this anymore, you're not going to do this anymore.
Okay, but when you sent your friend to come talk to me because you knew my life wasn't going well, and this is more like 30, 31 years old, Feridun, when he came into the garage, I remember he came and talked to me. Did you know I was on drugs then?
I didn't ask him. Maybe he came on his own.
I thought you sent him.
No, I never knew that he came and talked to you. No.
When the police came and raided the house and they broke the front door open and you came home from work and you saw that the house was wide open and it was a mess and your son is gone, what did you think? Did you think you got robbed?
Yeah.
Did you think like somebody robbed the house?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I called you and I called everywhere or anything, but I couldn't find you. So I didn't know what was going on.
Hello.
Paula, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's about time.
I'd agree, yes.
I'm so glad that you came through. We talked about this a while back, and now here we are.
6 girls walk in, and they look pissed. And they offered me meth or coke. I couldn't tell, but at that time, I was not into drugs. Mm-hmm. After seeing my mom and everything, haha, right? We're going to laugh later about that one.
Yeah.
I hated drugs, hated them, you know? So anyways, I was like, oh, no, thank you. And then I heard the door click, and they locked the dressing room and kind of like made a circle, and they started shoving me back. And I was like, all right, I've been in the system a little bit. I've been roughed up in life a little bit. I've been around some stuff, even though I look super bubbly and innocent. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna get jumped right now. You know what I mean? So I, when they threw the first punch, I threw my bag because I didn't want to get robbed either. Because essentially they wanted to rob me, right? That was the goal.
Were they mad that you took all their money?
And that I flirted with their boyfriend. I was trying to take their man, their man and their money. I think he must have been like pimping them out or something. I'm not sure, but I like walked into the wrong club. That's all I know. And I messed the money up, right?
Yeah.
Which is a big no-no. So anyways, I took a beating that night really, really freaking bad. And it's my first night ever dancing.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know you're one of my heroes.
You got low. You be searching at people in low places there.
Oh, come on now.
I'll never forget her saying those words, "Do you know what I've been through?" And I used to wait for you to come and get me, but you never came. And in tears, man, it's like I hate you. And I always say, there's not no amount of drugs or alcohol that I could drink or do to dim that I hate you, and my addiction, actually, I upped it. At that point, I was on smoking, crack, and drinking. Started shooting heroin after that. Down south, we call it heroin.
Yeah.
I started shooting heroin after that, and that took on a whole nother lifestyle.
Yes.
And that addiction part just went on and on. I mean, there's a lot of stories I can tell you about it, but the bottom line is I shifted from Alabama to Texas, Louisiana, and ended up in L.A. Back then, El Nino hit when I was on the street, And so to get out of the rain, I tried Charlie Street a couple of times, but I could only make it 3 days.
Did you get sober in Orange County, California?
I did.
What was your turning point? What made you actually want to do this?
It wasn't a want. It was made to.
How?
So when I got busted, and I got busted January of 2002, and I got put on Prop 36.
Yeah.
Never will forget this judge named Judge Larch.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still alive, but I know my first 10 years, I used to take a chip down there as well as to the Costa Mesa Police Department.
Yeah.
And leave a chip for 2 police officers that I say that they were harassing me at that time, but what they did was actually help me save my life.
Yeah. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. It's good to be back. It's been a while. We've been trying to do this for a while, right?
Yeah, I mean, we did one before when it wasn't this type of setup. Yeah. This is the actual, like, official, like, primary purpose with PEJ. They might just have straight up addiction and think that this isn't enough.
Let's unpack and try and take some of this and answer. And, you know, I think where you're going in, if we distill it and we can say, hey, PEJ is trying to creep upon the fact that this stuff can actually lead to using other drugs.
Something along those lines.
And that's a fair, legitimate potential question. And I would say if it does, it's because it was mismanaged in the first place. And like, you know, when
by the doctor or by the patient?
By the doctor, it's everybody's. It's not an issue of fault. It's everybody's poor approach to this situation.
I'll call his mom and say, we got to take him to the hospital and put him under observation then they'll manage his medications and get him back to some sort of normalcy. But it seems that he'll have that going on, I think, for the rest of his life.
But it's absolutely very possible and likely. And does he acknowledge it when he's doing that he's talking to something?
That he hears the voices.
Yeah.
He very much acknowledges it.
Okay, yeah.
But they're not evil voices. It used to be that many years ago when I first met him, the voices were telling him bad stuff. At times he would almost, it was like aliens. He had this electric thing that was some kind of,
sure.
He'd go in the backyard and I'd say, why are you doing that? And he said, because the noise that comes through the electric, some scientific terms he would use, I hear the voices more clearly. And I just thought, okay, well.
Yeah, you know, next time, you know, wherever you are, keep an eye for this. And, you know, part of what I did in my long career is I also managed the psych ER, right?
Let's hear about you. What's your background? Who are you? Who's Charlie Engle?
Man, I'm 63 years old. How much time you got? So like,
lay it on me.
So, you know, I grew up in North Carolina. What I was trying to do, I think, was like eliminate the runner or the addict from me. Like I almost wanted to like beat that person to death.
Yeah.
And what I actually learned for me was that, you know, my addictive nature is all the best parts of me. Like it's actually what makes me good at things.
Yeah.
I wonder what you think about that. How you see that part of your personality.
I'm glad you asked, because I think now that we're talking about this whole running thing, if I'm anti something or not psychologically, it's just like it doesn't look appealing or I did a Spartan race one time, right? Murderous. Like after I was never gonna do this again, never. The running part was bad, but all the mud, like getting stuck in the mud, and all, bullshit. Like I was like, who talked me into this bullshit? But I did have a counselor when I first got sober. He's an angel. Like he was the man that motivated me to change my entire life. And he lived in the recovery home I went through, right? Mm-hmm. And he was a former heroin addict, mainlining heroin right here in LA, homeless on the streets for a while, bank robber, got away with every robbery, right? And he had these pictures on the wall. I'm like, who's that? And he goes, well, that's me when I first got sober, because he was like 25 years sober. He was bald, but like he's had a little bit of hair then. Yeah. And I go, doesn't even look like you. Why are you running like that? He said, oh, I go to the marathon twice a year.
I'm like, well, that's nice for you. He's like, oh, no, I get all of us to go. I'm like, all of us except for me. I will not do that. Like, I didn't go to one of them.
I've run 100 miles or more, probably 100 times or more. Not one time in any of those did I not question my sanity and curse myself at some point during that event.
So that means the whole time that you're running, each time you're asking yourself,
what am I doing? What is wrong with me?
Every time?
Every time, at least once or twice. But the point is...
But you just push through?
That's the moment I want to get to. Like, that's the whole point, is how can I get myself to the place where I'm empty, where I am certain I can't keep going, and then find a way. Because I don't think even in relapse therapy, I know you do a lot of interventions. This is just my belief. Mm-hmm. I don't think we go through hard times. Like, a relapse happens in a moment. And like, you have to find a way when you're alone and you've got access to drugs or alcohol or whatever your thing is, and you have to find a way to not do it.